them out. All right. Siblings are all. But you can spend a few minutes and maybe put some notes here. This goes to Ricky. What are the odds that I'm going to drop this? I knew this one ran out of Oh, yeah, well, you have to say that you know. I'm sorry.
We have a belly.
What am I to do?
Just put the mic down here, brother.
That's the way.
All right.
Fall a little bit. Now look up and smile. Turn around. Okay, thank you.
We're going to have a short program that should take half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, hopefully, not too much longer than that. I trust you'll all enjoy it. If you need to stand and go get another drink or something as we're doing it, feel free to do that. Well, let me just kind of tell you what we're going to do in the next few minutes. I think Tiffany gave us a rundown earlier. We are here to wish Uncle Ernie, my uncle, Ernest Brown, happy birthday. And he's meant a lot to many of us over the years. And we're going to have some speakers come up here. We're going to have his siblings say something, and Sharon's going to say something on behalf of in-laws, and Melanie is going to come up and sing. And then we have some other presentations. We have a couple of cousins that will be speaking. And as everyone comes up, I'm just going to ask that you introduce yourselves because I don't really know everyone or haven't met everyone. So if you could do that, that would be great. And at the end of all of that, we will have a presentation displayed on the screen that I trust everyone will enjoy. I've seen it. I was pretty blown away by it. It's really, really, really wonderful. It's a wonderful walk for everyone, I think, down memory lane. Not just Ernie, but the family and friends. Well, with that in mind, as I'm welcoming everyone here, and for Uncle Ernie, I came across something that I thought was appropriate to read. In his book, Here and Now, Henry Nouwen actually wrote a small blurb on birthdays. And I wanted to share that with you. Because I don't think anybody really says it better. And Nouwen writes, birthdays need to be celebrated. I think it is more important to celebrate a birthday than a successful exam, a promotion, or a victory. To celebrate a birthday means to say to someone, thank you for being you. It is exalting life and being glad for it. On a birthday, we do not say, thanks for what you did, or said, or accomplished. No, we say, thank you for being born and being among us. On birthdays, we celebrate the present. We do not complain about what happened or speculate about what will happen, but we lift someone up and let everyone say, we love you. I know a friend on whose birthday is picked up by his friends, carried to the bathroom, and thrown, clothes and all, into a tub full of water. Everyone eagerly awaits his birthday, even he himself. I have no idea where this tradition came from, but to be lifted up and rebaptized seems like a very good way to have your life celebrated. We are made aware that although we have to keep our feet on the ground, we are created to reach to the heavens, and that although we easily get dirty, we can always be washed clean again and our life given a new start. Celebrating a birthday reminds us of the goodness of life, and in this spirit, we really need to celebrate people's birthdays every day by showing gratitude, kindness, forgiveness, gentleness, and affection. These are ways of saying, it's good that you are alive. It's good that you are walking with me on this earth. Let's be glad and rejoice. This is the day that God has made for us to be and to be together.
Whenever they said about the party, I started to think back to when as far back as I could for Ernie. And this is what I came up with. Dear Ernie, we have to go back to 1936, and I was almost 6 years old. I remember this one particular day, we weren't allowed to go upstairs. Then the doctor came, and all of a sudden we heard a baby cry. I had another brother. I think this was when I finally put it all together. When we weren't allowed upstairs, when the old Doc Gilbert arrived, there was another one arriving. I have glimpses of playing over at the old schoolhouse on the gravel tiles, playing in the snow, and as we got older, sledding down the hill to Kramer's. What fun we had, down the first hill, and down the second hill, and then to the bend of Catalani's. We could only do about one a day, as the walk back up was quite long. I can remember going to football games and watching you parade as drum major, and made us all proud. I remember when you started taking piano lessons from Margaret Critchcroft. We sure loved your music, and we loved and still love hearing you play. I remember when you got your job at Westmoreland Glass. I remember the day you got your promotion. I can never forget the wonderful gifts that you would give to us. Anytime someone needed a special occasion gift, we knew where to go. What great accomplishments you made there. Over the years, you have always been there for me. Your love and support has never wavered. You have been and still are a wonderful brother. Even our late night calls or early morning calls have been a great source of comfort and love. You'll never know what this has meant to me. I just want you to know that I love you very much, and I'm proud to say that you are my brother, and I'm glad you came into my life when I was almost 6. May this birthday be wonderful, and may the journey still ahead of you bring every great thing that you deserve. Love always, your sister Corinne.
You just said you're in for it now, brother.
Ernie, I didn't write nothing down, because I tell you, like we said Sunday, I kind of get, when I was in the kitchen, we was having dinner, and I said to you, I forgot what I was going to do. I stood there, and you said, I'm having that problem too. Ernie, I guess that's a change in our life, As far as growing up, we had good times together, and I can remember 1953 when I got engaged, and I went to Korea. You took over for me, kind of started my interest. We went to going roller skating, and Dad never took her up to downtown. You'd write me a letter and say, everything's doing fine. I come back in 55, and we got married. And then you went into the guards, and I had to go protect my little brother, But Ernie, I'm going to tell you something. You can tell that there's a lot of love. Your nieces and nephews really love you, as your sister and I do. You've done a lot. Took care of their grandmother, our mother, for 35 years, and God has a place for you too somewhere. That's about, I didn't write nothing down, that just,
Ernie, see if you remember. You taught me how to twirl the baton that Brownie gave me. Because you were so patient with me, I made the tryouts for Majorette and marching band. And remember Steiner's Brink, how our youth group would have skating parties with Owensdale youth. Again, you taught me how to skate, but I never could skate as well as you could. Ernie, we would rehearse songs over and over until we were sure I had the words memorized, only when I performed to forget the words or some of them. Not to worry, I just made up words as we went along. And remember what you would say to me? What were you up there singing anyway? Now maybe you can tell me after all this time who tattled. It was a Sunday evening. Donnie Lane and me put our high heel shoes in a brown paper bag, threw them out the upstairs window, went downstairs, kissed Mom goodbye, went out, picked up our brown bag, and went up to youth fellowship, or so Mom thought that's where we were going. We met a friend who had a car, and off to the dance club in Mount Pleasant. Right. And when we got there, Dwight was already there. He came over and seemed surprised to see us, but we exchanged a few words and went on to dance. It wasn't 30 minutes or less, and I think it was more like less, when I looked up and saw you. Well, let me tell you something. I was pretty scared. You came over to us and said, okay, you two, let's go. Taking you back to youth fellowship. I don't know what was going through Donnie Lane's mind, but I was scared. And I knew we were in big time trouble. Well, looking back on this situation, I wonder why Dwight got to stay. And it was Dell that tattled, wasn't it? A closing story, Ernie. Mother and Mildred Hope were discussing their concern over money the church had raised to buy a new organ. And I overheard them. And I said, well, there's no problem. They said there's nobody to play it. And I said, oh, yes, there is. Ernie's taking lessons. He can play the organ. Now, of course, we know the rest is history. Some 40-odd years later, you are still faithfully playing the organ for the church. Thanks, Ernie, for the memories. You're special. Happy birthday. We love you, and we're so glad God made us a family. God bless.
I was elected to represent we three sister-in-laws, Jean Brown, Jean Miller, and of course myself. We met for lunch one day and to discuss what I should include in this little topic. But of course, we laughed much more than we got anything done. One thing that was brought so clear to my mind was our Sunday lunches. You know, Dale and I, when we were first married, went to the Presbyterian church and sang in that church choir. And if there was nothing going on at my home, we would always go out to Nebo. We'd wait until Ernie came home from playing the service there, and Mother Brown would say, well, now, Ernie, you go into the little store and you get something for lunch. And he would look at her, and she'd say, now, Ernie, you know what I need. You know what I want. So he would take off, and he would go. Came back with, at that time, there was a sandwich meat called hamette. It was like sliced ham, chipped really fine. It was really good. And he knew how to pick the tomatoes just so they were perfect, and he had chips and buns, and we would end up with some Archway cookies. And probably peaches. There was always peaches at Grandma's house. After lunch, we went out and sat on the porch. Mother Brown and I on the swing, and Dale on the chaise lounge, and Ernie in the other chair. We spent many a Sunday afternoon so peaceful, just swinging on that swing, and Mother, do you remember this? And what do you know about that? And she, as you know, had a fantastic memory. But I think it ingrained in all of us this love for family and history. One thing that Ernie had written in my book at my little birthday party that I won't ever forget and Dawn and I were talking about it tonight. Dale and I went to one of the mistletoe balls, and I believe it was one of the ones that was down at Linden Hall, which wasn't Linden Hall at the time. But it had rained all day, and we came down home, and we were all dressed up, and Dale said to me when he stopped the car, "Now I'll help you out." Well, I didn't need any help getting out of the car, so I just trotted away, and before you knew it, I was on the ground. Somehow my foot slipped, and I was on the ground in the water. So we go in the house, and Mother Brown got the iron out, and I had some mud on me and everything else, so they fixed me all up, and of course I was so embarrassed because I wasn't even in the family yet. Here I was being such a goof. We go back out, and halfway out the walk, I slipped on something else, and I fell on the other side. Anybody who knows Dale, he was livid. Very upset with me. So we came back in the house, and Grandma had to fix my dress up again and whatever. We finally made it there, but it was quite an evening, as you can imagine. When Jean Miller was talking, she said there are so many things that she could bring to mind and that comes to mind. But one of the things that she thought was kind of unique, she was expecting Missy. That was December. And on Christmas Day, she started contractions, and they got in touch with Dr. Gilbert. And, of course, she had to go into the hospital. Well, nothing happened Christmas Day. Nothing happened on the 26th. By this time, Dwight had been there keeping her company. And she decided that it was time that he should go home and get a new change of clothes and shower. So, reluctantly, why he leaves, and she thinks, good, I have time to myself. I want to moan a little bit, I can moan. The door opened up, and guess who walked in? Ernie. Dwight had sent Ernie. Jean company. She said, can you imagine your brother-in-law sitting with you? As it turned out, she didn't have Missy until the 27th. She was Swope Brown and regaled us with any number of things, but most of the time she would say, well, I can't remember. That's a long time ago. This isn't exactly maybe about Ernie, but I had to tell it anyway. Those of you family members will know when I speak of Aunt Edith. Jean and Brownie had 2 girls, and then they had a set of twins. Now, they weren't young when they had this set of twins. And so we're talking, a ready-made family, and they're really busy. They're not getting any sleep at night. So Aunt Edith comes to visit, and she decides, or they both decide, that between the 2 of them, with 12 children between the 2 of them, they know how to help this situation. So they pack their suitcases, and they go to Connellsville. Now, I'm assuming that Ernie probably drove them over. Well, Jean said they had a wonderful night's sleep, she and Brownie. But the next morning, coming down the stairs are the 2 ladies, all dressed with their suitcases. They had had enough, and they had no more of this. I'm assuming that possibly Ernie had to come pick them up. We have compiled so many lovely and unforgettable memories through our many years together. One of Webster's definitions for love is a feeling of strong personal attachment induced by sympathetic understanding or by ties of kinship. So we can say, blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love. We share our mutual woes, our mutual burdens bear, and often for each other flows the sympathizing tear. Happy birthday, Ernie. I hope we have time to spend many more.
All the nieces and nephews, and it was a long time trying to pick a song that would be appropriate for this, and we went through many, many choices, and we finally decided on Young at Heart. So, we'll do our best. If I get the words right, I'll be even better.
Hart, Ludlow. I am 84 years old, the oldest of the cousins on the Hook side, the daughter of Edith Hoke, and niece of Muriel Brown, and cousin to Ernie Brown. We're all here to celebrate Ernie's 70th birthday. My family and I grew up in Butler, Pennsylvania. Really, it was Grease City, and I went to Hooker High School. And Butler was 10 miles from any real shopping areas. So now I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I have lived there for 38 years and still live there. As kids, we love to go visit our aunts and uncles and cousins in Scottsdale, Pennsylvania. The greatest thrill for me, and I bet you nobody in this audience could guess what it was. The inside plumbing. We did not have it, and we never did have it. I remember how Aunt Merle used to sit on a chair, and as each child got old enough to scrub the floors and do the dusting, they were taught how. In all the years I went there, I never saw a toy out of place. I never saw a bit of dust. And the place was absolutely a joy to be around, be in. I still see Ernie sitting at the piano, practicing for hours. Finally, the organ. I love to wake up in the morning and hear him playing the organ before I went downstairs. Ernie worked at Westmoreland Glass for I don't know how many years. He was a painter, and people still go around the countryside trying to find where that he painted with his name on it. And over the years, I really enjoyed all the wonderful time that I spent swinging on the front porch and talking and reminiscing. Those are still special thoughts in my mind. Ernie has been a very great cousin. Good looking, great dresser, and always the perfect gentleman. Ernie dictated the Ernie's dedication with the community, family, and the church, I'm sure has really been appreciated. And of all the good memories that I can think of, is we were always called the kissing cousins. Ernie, how about a kiss? Happy birthday! I didn't do it, but I tried, but I didn't.
Isn't it wonderful to have a family that size? Let's give them a hand. I really don't have too much to say because Ernie's dad and my dad were brothers. And they ended up with 9 children, and I'm the only brat in the other. And when I'm in between Dick and Ukraine. But anyway, I have a little tribute to you. And I do want to say we were out on Wednesday night, weren't we, Ernie? We were celebrating birthdays on Wednesday evening over at Meidel's. And there was 15 of us. We call it the school group. Some of them are from East Huntington and some of them from South Huntington. So we have sometimes a little feud there. But anyway, we had a good time on Wednesday night, and I tried to stay at the upper end of the table because I didn't want next to it. Ernie, you have been like a brother to me. You visit my mother, who is now in Harmon House. She's 99 years of age, and her mind's beginning to come back, thank God. And Ernie, of course, is visiting her there now, and sometimes he would come to the home. On your birthday, as you look to the future and reflect upon your past, all those that know you wish to thank you for your love and support, and mainly your musical support, because oftentimes we have a small church, Grandview, and our pastor, or some of us will call Ernie, will you come out and do a duet with our minister's wife, or will you come out and do this? And Ernie's there. And we thank you for that. And your kindness and your friendship. May you take special joy in the warmth of all those around you here tonight and every day of your life. May your future have many more moments of love and laughter. And may the good Lord give you health to carry on and labor for Him and for others. Be happy and have a very happy birthday from Jack and Marilyn, and especially from Aunt Garnet. She knows.
I promise I won't embarrass you. First off, Ernie and I go way, way back. But I will start this in a more serious note. We must always have old memories of young folks. Now, after I got that far, I thought, I've got to get something for Ernie. And I was racking my brain. Happened to look over on Tottie's desk in the office down there, and here was an idea. And I thought, And Tottie does this to me all the time. She's been gone, but she still gives me ideas. So I happened to pick it up, and it was the thing on friendship. So, with your permission, I'll read it now. You have to work at friendship with tenderness and zeal. Draw your friends into your heart with roots as strong as steel. Shape the growth with loving thoughts, as careful gardeners do. If love and peace and happiness will ever bloom for you. In life, all worthwhile things it pays, dividends in 100 ways. And since you're such a gardener, I thought that was apropos. All right, now, a few asides, more personal note. I want to apologize to you. First off, I scared the bejeebers out of you a long time ago. I was Ernie's boss for a short time. And Ernie said when I would come into the room, he said he would panic. And I didn't realize I scared him like that. I mean, so I do apologize after all this time. A second thing, you notice whenever we would play the card game sequence, we get together for birthdays and things. All right, Mary Jane would bring her sequence again. And everybody else, it kind of fell into place. Ernie and I ended up always partners. It took me a while to figure out. I have the lousiest card sense in the world, and Ernie, I'm sorry, you are not the greatest card player either. So he and I ended up, everybody else would scamper and get their own partners, and there was Ernie. So again, I apologize that I am not a card player. And thirdly, we also know each other well from the times when we were singing together and still sing together in choral society. And I always think Bill Thomas at that time was our director. And we didn't have too many members. We were kind of getting pretty anxious about the fact that it would continue. I'll never forget the day I looked up and there came Dawn Green, Meredith Burke, and Ernie through the door. Bill just beamed. And it kind of inspired us, and we thought everybody would get with it. So I
I just want to wish you a happy birthday, and see, I didn't embarrass you. I promised I would. Happy birthday to you, kiddo.
All right, you ready? I would just like to thank everyone for coming, and if we can all just give up Ernie a great big hand, and again, happy birthday, Ernie.